Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Springfield Elementary School from the cartoon The Simpsons in Minecraft, step by step, block by block for all of your city building needs, including the interior. I have tried my best to recreate as much of the original school as I possibly could, including the lunch area at the back of the school, the various playground implements, the mini baseball field that is here for some reason. I actually didn't know this, but there is also a small basketball court too. I even tried to recreate the school bus. And I didn't stop there. Heading inside, we have the hallways, the 4th grade classroom, aka Bart's classroom, the 2nd grade classroom, aka Lisa's classroom, the teacher's lounge, music studio, the gymnasium, and auditorium, which is a fancy word that I just learned. And that's just the ground floor. Upstairs we have the cafeteria, the bathroom, computer lab, and finally, Principal Skinner's office. By the way, I was hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. If you managed to spot me, leave a comment down below. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. And of course, this part doesn't count, guys. I know that one of you already started writing a comment as soon as I appeared on screen. This is the amount of space required to make the school. I would recommend recreating this grid in your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left-hand corner of the grid, count backwards, find the 18th block, and then count to the right and find the 19th block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. I was devastated that I couldn't fit all of the materials onto one page. Begin the build by placing 7 terracotta extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then extend to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then extend forwards by 2. 1, 2. And then up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place 3 purple concrete. 1, 2, 3. And then 7 terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 purple concrete. 1, 2, 3. Then place 11 terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then extend down by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then back by 2. 1, 2. And then right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we can extend all the way down to the ground just to match the opposite side. Believe it or not, this is the general outline for the front of the build. We will now work on the side. To begin, we will come all the way behind this terracotta block and extend backwards by 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We will extend this block all the way down to the ground just to keep a sense of shape, but we also want to extend that same block across the back of the build by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We will then extend 2 rows towards us, 1, 2, and then we will extend up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we can actually extend all the way across to the right, and the goal is to roughly line up with that block over there, but we are simply just going to extend that block backwards And we are going to join these at a right angle. So we want to have something that should look like this. And you can do the exact same thing just over at the opposite side here as well, if you would like to match both sides. It's always nice when things are symmetrical, just like this. So now that we have joined all of these together and we're getting a better sense of this place, we can extend this corner block that we have now created down by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We will then extend inwards by 2, so towards the front. 1, 2. We can then extend to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We will then extend down to the ground. And we will also join that exact same block all the way towards the front of the build. And this will give us this looks insane. It kind of looks like a crab. This is the general outline for the shape of the school. Guys, we've got to add some walls. This looks far too weird without them. So let's make the entire front of the school first of all, starting all the way over here. Extend this terracotta block all the way down to the ground. And then extend the 2 terracotta behind all the way down to the ground as well. We then have created this area, which we will first of all add a row of terracotta along the right side of this empty space. We will then add a row of terracotta along the bottom, and then extending up the left side, underneath the top, and then back down the right side again. We will then add upside down purpose stairs in the left and right corner. We will place 2, 1, 2, upside down stairs extending inwards, 1, 2, from both sides like this. We will then place purpose slabs underneath the terracotta above these stairs. And then we will split this area up just by placing terracotta in between. And there we have just 2 windows. So for the windows, we will place light blue stained glass behind both these slab blocks and the empty space underneath them, just like this. Once we have done that, here we are just going to jump over to the opposite side and do the same thing. So we'll extend these terracotta blocks down to the ground, and then the 2 behind them as well, just like this. And then we will add a row of terracotta along this left side and across the bottom. Then we will add a row of terracotta extending up the right side, underneath the top, and then down the left side, just like this. We can then add the upside down purpose stairs extending inwards on both sides with the slabs underneath the top. Then terracotta in between, and then we can place the light blue stained glass behind the slabs and then extend it down to cover up all of that empty space. Just like this. So now that we have done that, we are going to focus on this much larger middle section. So when it comes to this middle section, I think that the first thing we must do is extend these purple concrete blocks all the way down to the ground. The middle part of the school here is kind of split into 3, with the main entrance being right in the middle, and of course we have the 2 remaining spaces either side, which will ultimately become classrooms. Okay, perfect. So let's work on the 2 outer spaces first of all. Step 1, we are just going to add a row of terracotta just across the bottom here, connecting to the purple concrete. We will then run a row of terracotta all the way alongside the purple concrete too. We will then add a row of terracotta extending up the left side, underneath the top, and then all the way down the right side, just like this. We will then add 2 upside down purpose stairs, 1, 2 here on this left side, and 1, 2 here on this right side. We will then just place terracotta in between these, and on this occasion we will extend the terracotta all the way up to the top. Do note that there is more terracotta in between these windows than there are the outer windows, and it is meant to be that way just in case you are curious. So we then have to divide this area up further. It's probably easiest if we place 1, 2, 3 rows of glass above and behind our purpose stairs, just like this, so that we can properly place our windows. And then we can place the purpose slabs across the top of the glass, just like so. We can then place a row of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 terracotta extending up on top of the purpose slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. And then we are able to repeat this. So we can place the upside down purpose stairs on top of the 4 rows of terracotta. And then on this occasion, we can actually just place the purpose slabs underneath this empty space at the top. And then we can, of course, place the glass behind the slabs, drop it down just like so. And that will give us this, which is perfect. And now that we have done this on this left side, we will repeat this over on the right. So once again, let's begin just by connecting the bottom together with a row of terracotta, which we will then extend all the way up along the inside of the purple. We will then add a row underneath the top here, all the way back down on the right side. We will then add another row on the left, just like so. So we basically have 2 rows of terracotta on the left, top, right side, and only 1 on the bottom. But we are now able to add the 2 upside down purpose stairs, extending in from both sides. The 3 rows of terracotta in between the stairs, which we will then extend all the way up to the very top of the build. Just like so. We will then place our 3 rows of glass above and behind the purpose stairs. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We can then place the purpose slabs in front of the glass, just like so. And then 4 rows of terracotta on top. 1, 2, 3, 5. Well, that was horrible counting. Let's actually count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. But I know that is a row of 4. I just did it way too fast. Okay, so now that we have done that, we can place our upside down purpose stairs in these gaps. We can place the purpose slabs at the top, and then we can just place the glass here, and then drop it down to fill in any of these empty spaces, and that will give us this. That is not looking too bad. Next, the main entrance. So, first of all, we are going to extend the outer rows of purple concrete forwards by 1, the middle row forwards by 2, 1, 2, and the inner row forwards by 3, 1, 2, 3. And we can safely extend all of these blocks just all the way up to the very top of wherever the purple concrete is, so all the way up there, and we will do the same with the other blocks. Perfect. So once we've done that on the left, let's do the same on the right. So the outer row 1, the middle row 2, the inner row 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we can just extend these blocks all the way up to the very top. So, now that we have created the purple pillars, which is kind of satisfying to say, I cannot lie, we will then place rows of 3, 1, 2, 3 terracotta extending forwards from the most outer row, this one, 1, 2, 3. We will then place a row of stone stairs in between the terracotta. We then want to place another row of stone stairs above and behind this row. We will then place 4 rows of stone behind the stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they want to be as wide as the stairs themselves, just like this. We will then, behind and to the left of the stone row, we'll place rows of 1, 2, 3, 4 orange terracotta extending up along the inside of the purple concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will join these rows together at the top, like this. We will split them down the middle with a row of orange terracotta, just like so. We will then add rows of light blue stained glass, left and right of that middle row, like this. We will then add a row of purple slab in front of the top of the orange terracotta row, just like so. We will then place 2 purple blocks on the left side here, 1, 2, and 2 purple blocks on the right, 1, 2. We will then stick yellow concrete in between them, and then a row of purple slab across the top, just like this. We will then place terracotta behind the purple slabs, just like so. We will then add another row of terracotta on top of this. We will extend the terracotta up on the left and right, joining up to the top here. We will then... And this is kind of tricky because ultimately we will introduce another material behind this terracotta, but for now, just extend like the outer part of the terracotta just backwards like this to create a little bit of a frame. We then want to place 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, of light blue stained glass pane on top of this terracotta, but then above this we want to place a terracotta in each one of these 2 corners like so, and then extend those blocks forwards. So we effectively just want to fill this shape that we have created in with glass, but the glass wants to sit 1 row behind, so just like this. We do also have to add an additional row of terracotta on top of this. And before we move on too far, we also have to add a mangrove fence here and here for the door handles, which is something that I should have done earlier, but I forgot. We should also place an additional 2 rows of terracotta on top of these rows next to these stairs, so 1, 2, and then extend the top of these rows out by 2, 1, 2, and then drop them down and also back, so just extend them as far back as they'll go. And then inside here, 1 row inside, just add a row of terracotta like this, and we just do this on both sides, so 2 rows up, 2 rows out, extend all the way back, extend the side down, and then 1 row inwards, just add terracotta, and in total, that should give us this, which honestly looks pretty good. I have came to the unfortunate realization that we can't really progress with the front of the school anymore until we have made some of the rest of it. So come all the way over onto the right side of the build now, where we will first of all just fill this wall in using terracotta. There are no windows on this side of the school, which I do find a little bit odd. Although I will say, which is insanely infuriating with a lot of cartoon and movie and video game builds, depending upon the episode, the version of the school that's being seen, these things change all the time. Like, sometimes the school even looks like a different colour. The front of the school looks different a lot. At a certain point, you've just kind of got to make a decision, unfortunately. But that part of the school can be filled in with terracotta. And then this part above is a little bit more complicated. So we want to line up with these 4 terracotta blocks that coincide with these windows, right? And we want to extend these 4 blocks backwards by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 3 rows above, once again coinciding with the length of the windows. We will then add another window, which is of course just 2 upside down purple stairs at the bottom, 2 purple slabs at the top, and then light blue stained glass behind the slabs, and then drop down to fill in this empty space. We then want to do the same thing on the back, although I've noticed it might actually be easiest just to run a row of terracotta just extending towards the back like this, right? So on the back here, since we don't have any windows to line up with, it's the exact same thing. We want to add a row of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terracotta, and then these next 2 rows is where the windows are positioned, and this row of terracotta wants to be 4 rows high in total, just like this. And then we can add the upside down purple stairs at the bottom, the slabs at the top. We can place the glass behind the slabs and then extend down to cover up that empty space, and then we are able to fill pretty much just everything else in here with our terracotta. So in between the frames, across the top of the frames, so here and then here. And I've actually just noticed underneath as well, so we can actually fill this in. And that is perfect. And I'm actually tempted now that we have done this to hop onto the opposite side of the build, so all the way over here on the left, and to do the exact same thing. The left and right side of the builds are seemingly identical, once again depending upon what version of the school you're looking at, but you know. For those curious, the most outer part of the school here, on the left side, is the teacher's lounge. On the opposite side of the school, the part that we were just working on, is the music room. There we go. That's perfect. And then, when it comes to this area, it's the exact same thing. So we once again will line up with these 4 blocks of this window, and we will add a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terracotta, just like this. And we will just extend these rows up just to equal the length of the window. We will then add these stairs, 1, 2 at the bottom, and these slabs at the top. We will then place glass behind the slabs and then drop down, just like so. We will then, I'm just going to extend the row of terracotta across again because it's just so much easier. So all the way towards the back of the build here, and then we'll start counting backwards, or rather forwards, to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with our terracotta. Then we'll knock out these 2 rows, add 3 more rows of terracotta, or I suppose just, that's the right amount, isn't it? We've got 4 rows in total of terracotta, then 2 upside down purple stairs at the bottom, 2 slabs at the top, glass behind, drop down just like this, and that's so much easier. And if you like, you can even just look over to the opposite side of the school. If it looks like it's in the right place, then it probably is, and then we can just fill in between all of these windows in with the terracotta, and just around them, both at the top and the bottom as well. We do have those 2 rows at the bottom that I always seemingly forget about, I don't know how. I would like to fill both of them in simultaneously, and this isn't how I like to go from bottom to top. There we go, that's better. I don't know if you guys have such stringent methods, but I have a way that I like to do things. So now that we have made the left side of the school pretty much, we've made the right side of the school as much of the front as we can as well, we are now going to move to the back, and this seems very daunting, doesn't it? Well, step 1, we are going to connect these rows of terracotta down to the ground. So this just divides the back of the school up nicely. And we'll do the same on the opposite side here as well. Perfect. So the two outer buildings here, we are actually just going to fill these in completely with terracotta. It's a little bit tricky with what we have on the inside of these rooms to have windows, so to avoid that, we're just not going to have windows. And we'll do the exact same thing on the opposite side as well. Unfortunately, sometimes we do have to make certain sacrifices when we've also made like the inside of the build too, and this is one of them. Okay, that's perfect. So now we come to the middle section. So we actually have all of these same outer windows here, so those four and those four, we have the exact same set here as well. So we are going to add those. To make this easier, I'm actually just going to extend this row of terracotta here just all the way to the back of the build, just so that we can avoid some counting. So I'm going to extend that all the way back and then to the left, and I'm also just going to extend it across to the right as well. And I will then extend this row, just like this, because this will just be very, very helpful in constructing the back in general. That is absolutely perfect. So what we are then able to do is, starting in this corner here, we will place a terracotta, and then 2 upside down purple stairs, 1, 2, and then 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3. And then 2 upside down stairs, 1, 2. We will then place 2 terracotta and then extend up. We will then add a row underneath the top here. We will then add a row extending down along the left and add a row on the right as well, just to enclose these in a little bit. We will then extend these 3 middle terracotta blocks just all the way up to the top of the frame. We can then add glass to our bottom windows by placing rows of 1, 2, 3 light blue stained glass above and behind our purple stairs. So 1, 2, 3, just like this. We then place purple slabs in front of the top row of glass. And then we can place 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, of terracotta on top of these slabs, just like this. We will then place upside down purple stairs on top of the terracotta, purple slabs underneath the terracotta at the top, and then we are able to place the glass behind the slabs and then drop that down to fill in any empty space, and that will give us this. And now that we have done this on the left, we can repeat this on the right. Although I'm going to do it a bit different. I'm going to extend this terracotta block where this kind of all just intersects here. I'm going to extend this all the way up to the top of the frame. I'll add a row of terracotta underneath the top of the frame. And then add a row along the inside of the right here. And then I'll add a row just along the inside of the left. Just like this. Then 2 upside down purple stairs, 1, 2 here, and 2, 1, 2 here. We will then add terracotta in between these and extend them all the way up to the very top of the frame. Just like this. We are then going to add our glass. So 3 rows of glass above and behind the stairs. That's 1, 2, 3. And then here as well, 1, 2, 3. Place the purple slabs in front of the glass at the top, and then 4 rows of terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, above the slabs. We will then place upside down purple stairs underneath, at the bottom of these window frames, and then purple slabs underneath the terracotta at the top. Is anything that I'm saying making sense at this point? We can then place the glass behind the purple slabs and then drop it down to fill in the empty space, creating windows. It's a good job that you've done this quite a bit at this point and you barely even need me. So now that we have filled those 2 outer spaces in, we can work on these inner spaces. So first of all, we are going to add an additional 3 rows of terracotta extending along the inside of the bottom. So on the left side, 1, 2, 3, and then on the right side, 1, 2, 3, just like this. And we're going to extend these 3 rows forwards a row like this. So we just want to mark them out. And we can actually extend each one of these blocks just all the way up to the very top. So just like this, all the way up to the top of the frame. Unfortunately, there is no magnificent purple concrete on the back of the build. The back of the build is actually really bland in comparison to the front of the build, which is unfortunate because some of my favorite part of the front of the build is like all of the use of purple, really. But that's okay. I guess you do want both sides to be different. Next, we are going to extend these inner terracotta blocks forwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We will then join them together with a row of stone stairs. We will then place a row of stone stairs above and behind these, with 4 rows of stone behind those, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they want to be as long as these stairs in front of them. Then we want to place behind the outer stone blocks an orange terracotta, which we can then extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Join across the top. Extend the middle block down. Add light blue glass pane along the inside row of orange terracotta, and this time I have remembered to bring the mangrove fence. Then we will place a row of terracotta on top of this, which we will then extend forwards by 1, just like so. We will then extend the terracotta up an additional 2 rows, so 1, 2, and I do just want to make sure that this is right. Okay, we are then going to extend the terracotta forwards a row, just like this, and then we will add a row of terracotta, or 2 rows of terracotta on the left side here, so 1 and 2, just extending up to the top, and 1 and 2 here, just extending all the way up to the top of the frame. We will then add a row of terracotta underneath the top like so, and we'll place upside down purpose stairs along the bottom of this empty space and purpose slabs underneath the top, just like this. We will then place light blue stained glass behind those slabs, and we will drop down to fill in all of their empty space, just like so. And then I think that we are just going to add an additional row of terracotta just underneath here like so. And we do also just have to fill these gaps in here on the left and right. So just like this here, and just like this here. And that will give us this, which again, it's a shame. It seems a little bit more boring than the front. And I am starting to think if it would look nicer just to have just a clean slate of terracotta. That does look better, I think, so we're going to keep it like that. And then we do also just have to extend these outer rows of terracotta just next to the stairs up by 2 rows. So 1, 2, and then out by 2 rows. 1, 2. Drop them down to the ground, and the exact same as we did on the front, just add a row of terracotta inside the second row, so just like this. So up 2 rows, out 2 rows, drop it down, add some terracotta in the middle, and that will give us this. And I think that this is actually starting to look, this is starting to pull together. This next part is going to completely transform the school, but it's going to look a little bit weird at first. So to begin, we will place rows of purple concrete extending outwards diagonally from the 4 corners of this middle portion of the school. So that's row number 1. Row number 2 is here, so extending outwards from this corner all the way up. And by the way, they want to be 1 row higher than the school itself. And then the 2 corners on the front of the school as well, so extending all the way in front of this corner, just all the way up. And then this is the last corner, so same thing. Perfect. Just like that. So the next thing we can add is a row of terracotta that extends above and around these two outer parts of the school. So just all the way around the edge of the top here, like this. And just whilst we're here, we can fill the tops of these little mini roofs in using, I always forget the material, light grey terracotta. I guess if you squint hard enough, it kind of looks light grey. So now that we have done that to the right side, and that is looking much improved, we can head all the way over to the left and do the same. So a row of terracotta that just extends above and around this outer part of the school. We can then fill the middle part of this in with light grey terracotta. Well done me for remembering what it's called. What is happening? So now that we have filled in those two outer parts of the school, this is quite handy as, in the same position that we placed this row of terracotta, we want to also place it along the front of the school, here, in between these two rows of purple concrete on the left, and here, in between these two rows of purple concrete on the right. Just like this. In addition to this, we are going to do the exact same thing on the back of the build as well. So we will follow this row along and we will place it in between. Well, unfortunately, there is no row of purple concrete on the back, but we will place it here and it will actually extend through here to here. Just like so. And I am now wondering if this would look once again better if we did just fill this in with terracotta just to make it look a little bit chunkier, or whether it even barely makes a difference in the first place. Well, now that we have done that, we also want to place a row of terracotta connecting all of these purple concretes together. Kind of. So we will connect these purple concretes together across the top of the back of the build. And we will also connect the purple concrete together front to back, just like this. So I'm purposefully ignoring the front. We do also want to extend those 4 rows of purple concrete up an additional row. By the way, that's something that we should have done as we were extending around. But so now you can see that these all extend above and around like this, and it just creates this really nice, satisfying look. It really puts a nice finish on the school. But the front of the school is a little bit different, and the reason why is because we want to, first of all, extend these 2 outer purple concretes up by 2 rows. So 1, 2. The middle rows up by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And then the inner rows up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these central bits extend up and they create a really cool shape. And we do the same thing on the right side here. So these outer rows, we extend up by 2. So 1, 2. The middle row up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the inner row up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is perfect. And then we are able to extend a row of terracotta in between that purple concrete here and now the middle of the build. Just like this. So it makes those 2 inner parts of the school look really cool. However, we then, for this middle section, for some reason, it's ever so slightly higher. So we will place a row of terracotta just above this, like so, that just connects the left and the right side together, but just 1 row higher than everywhere else. It's at this point in time that I think that the school is really starting to come together and it's starting to look spectacular. But it would look even better if we had a roof. So we are going to fill this massive empty section in here with light grey terracotta. And, well, this is going to take a while. So now that we actually have roofs, we can add details to them. Believe it or not, each section of roof actually has something on it. So we'll start all the way over here on the left. We want to line up with this window, leave a gap of 2 from it, 1, 2, and then place 2 stone corresponding with the window. Stone brick stairs to the left, stone to the left of that, and then place stone in front and behind the stairs. Then add stone slab along the top of the stone blocks. Then in the corner of the roof, just the back left hand corner, very close to where we were just building, we'll extend inwards diagonally, place a cyan terracotta, and then a stone brick wall on top. So those are the details on this left portion of roof. Let's jump up to the middle part of the roof. So once again, towards the back, and this time, we are lining up, and this gets so convoluted, but we're lining up with the middle row of this row of 3 terracotta. So we'll line up with the middle, follow it up to the top of the roof, leave a gap of 1, so on top of the second light grey terracotta, we will place a stone. In front of it, 3 stone brick stairs, 1, 2, 3, and then another stone. We will then extend the stone brick stairs left and right a row, and then we will place stone extending all the way around the outside of the stone brick stairs. We can then add stone slabs on top of our stone block. We will then add another row of stone in front of these 3 middle blocks, and then stone stairs in front of those to give us this, whatever that is. We then, on the right side here, it's a very similar thing to what we actually did on the opposite roof. In this corner, we'll extend inwards diagonally, cyan terracotta, stone brick wall, extend inwards diagonally again, leave a gap of 1, and then place 2 stone wall or stone brick wall, and that will give us this. Again, whatever this is meant to be. On the front corner of the roof, though, we have a basketball, which I'm just going to use an orange shulker box for. That can go right about there. And then, when it comes to our last roof, the third roof, not to brag, we have 3 roofs for our school. We want to, once again, line up with this window, the front one this time. We want to leave a gap of 2 from the outer edge of the roof, so we want to find the third light grey terracotta, 1, 2, 3, and here we will place cyan terracotta, stone brick wall on top, leave a gap of 1 in front of this, and then place another stone brick wall, and that will give us that. And I do realise that like the placement of all of those just seems so like random and weird and difficult to kind of like position them, but it's done now, so don't complain. Next, let's add a pathway that leads all the way around the outside of our school, or if you're feeling fancy, a pathway. Come all the way to the main entrance and remove 5 rows of grass from in front of our stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we will remove the entire width of these stairs and replace it with smooth stone. Next, we are going to remove grass left and right of our smooth stone, and we are going to extend from the last 2 rows of the smooth stone, extending right and lining up with the edge of our school building. Once we have successfully done that, so we have lined up with it, we will dig an additional 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And whilst we're here, we can just backfill that with smooth stone. Once we've done that on the right, we will do that on the left. We will remove these last 2 rows, extending all the way over to the left, and we will line up with the edge of the school once again, dig 4 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and replace all of that with smooth stone. and that is the path at the front of the school. So when it comes to the path extending towards the back of the build, we will dig and remove grass from the back of these end 2 rows here. And we are going to dig and dig and dig. And the goal is to line up with where those... That is infuriating. Where's my smooth stone gone? The goal is to... That didn't happen. The goal is to line up with the terracotta that we have there for the back set of stairs, and then dig 2 rows, so 1, 2, superseding it, and then we can just extend and dig across the back of them. So it's a bit simpler than what we have on the front, honestly. And if you'd like to do it in reverse, you can just dig 2 rows extending out of the back of the stairs, and then just to dig left and right and line up with the path that we have at the front of the build. But that's up to you. So I'm just digging across to the left here, lining up with those end 2 rows, and I'm just going to dig all the way to the front, which is a bit easier on this side because I know that I just have to dig all the way to the white concrete and then just stop, basically. But it's not the same for the left side of the school, which we've already done. So now we can actually just backfill all of this with smooth stone. What is going on? Oh, also, like, underneath here, I've decided just to remove the grass from inside of this and just replace that with smooth stone. I think it looks a little bit cleaner. I think it looks a little scruffy otherwise. Alternatively, you could remove the block in the ground and replace it with terracotta rather than smooth stone. Either way is probably fine. I like the smooth stone, though. There we go, so now we have our very fancy smooth stone pathway that leads all the way around the outside of our school. Next, we are going to make the many bushes that surround the school, and there's a few different types of them. So the first one we will make is this rather tall one that sits in front of our row of purple concrete here. We'll begin by placing a row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lime terracotta, like this, and then we'll place a row of 3, 1, 2, 3 in front of this row, and to the left, and to the right as well, just like this. And whilst we have the lime terracotta out, we are going to come to this corner, and we're going to make a rather blocky one. I guess they're all kind of blocky, but we'll place a row of 1, 2, 3 lime terracotta extending up this wall, add a row next to it, and then add a 2x2 cube in front, just like this. And we're just going to repeat this onto the opposite side. So in front of here, we place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we just place a row of 3 just all the way around it, basically. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, and then we place our square in front of it, or cube in front of it, I suppose. So the next variety of bush we will make is made using green terracotta, and it kind of just sits in front of this entire window, like this outer area here, and it gets a little bit puffier, like in between the windows and in the corner, so something like this will do just nicely. And then when it comes to this area here, it's actually a little bit sparse, which is sad. We'll start off by placing a 2x2 square, like this, or once again a 2x2x2 cube, and then we will place an additional 2 blocks just here, flaring out to the right underneath the window. And we want to do this on the opposite side as well. We're just going to copy exactly what we've done on that side into this side. So in the corner, the cube, and then the 2 extra blocks. And then underneath this set of windows here, we are going to place just the long row, and we will extend these blocks like this. And once again, I mean, they don't have to match. It would be better if they didn't, as they are meant to be bushes and organic and kind of, you know, do their own thing. But then again, they could be pruned to look the same as well. So it's not ridiculous that they would all look the same. So now that we have done this on the front of the build, we are going to move all the way around the back. And we are going to do the exact same thing. So we'll start off with the lime terracotta ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we just extend the bottom 3 blocks every direction. We place this row of 3 up the side here, and then place a cube in front of it. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Then when it comes to the green terracotta, we are going to place... We don't have the windows on the back here, which is throwing me off a little bit. I was kind of confused for a second. So instead, we'll just place the long row here. And then roughly in the middle, we'll do what we did on the opposite side and then like just stick one in the corner. Something like this will look just fine. And then stuffed away in this corner, it's the same thing. Just the cube, flare the bottom blocks out just like this. And then same on the side as well. So the cube, extend these blocks out, and then along this part we will, once again, we don't have the windows, but we can do something very, very similar. And that's how the bushes look. Oddly enough, there are no bushes along the sides of the building, which is strange, you know, because there is grass there. But, you know, I didn't design the original version of the school, so... Take it up with Matt Groening. Groaning. Well, that was weird. Anyway, let's make the flagpole featuring flag. To position this, come all the way to this area here. So we're just looking to line up with this terracotta block left of this window. And we want to trace down on the floor, count and find the 6th block moving forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remove this block, the 2 in front of it, and then the 2 rows to the left of it. And then replace all of those blocks with stone. Then, in the middle, place 15 stone brick wall extending up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Place a yellow concrete on top. Place 2 blue concrete right of the wall. 1, 2. Then extend the blue concrete down. Place red concrete underneath. And then white concrete underneath. Extend the white and red to the right. And then on top, place a white and a red. And then behind these blocks, we are going to just extend them back. And then the blocks that we extended back, we will extend to the right by 2 rows. So we will have something, and it might even look better actually. So instead of having this, it might look better just to have that actually. That does look better. And there we have our flag, which is looking pretty magnificent, if I do say. Next, we are going to make a road in front of the school. The easiest way to do this is simply just to remove the remaining grass and grid that sits in front of the path that we made earlier. If you haven't made the grid, this equates to 4 rows. The reason that it is 4 rows wide is, and I promise it has nothing to do with the fact that the school bus is 4 rows wide and this necessitates a road that is also 4 rows wide. It's just purely a coincidence. Once you have removed all of those blocks, replace them with grey concrete, or your road material of choice. That I would recommend to be grey concrete. Now that we have made our road, we can begin work on our car park. So come all the way over to this area, and step 1 is to extend our path this way by 9 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can just replace those blocks with smooth stone. Then, starting in this corner, extending along our path, we will place rows of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow carpet, and then we'll leave a gap. So gap and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to have 5 of these in total. So gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I've been keeping count, gap, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we should have 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in between these rows, we are going to place white concrete, which we will extend this way by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You could even do 5 if you planned on putting a longer vehicle in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 in total anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like this. So next, we are going to, starting from the edge of this yellow carpet here, we are going to dig and remove to the end of the grid. And we will dig all the way to our road. And our next job is to remove all of the grass from inside of this area that we have just lined out. And we will ultimately replace it with cyan terracotta. I'm beginning to wonder if perhaps we should have removed all of this first and then made the car parking spaces after. We really are team do it the hard way over here. So now that we have completed our car park, we are going to place some bushes on the end of it. So the way that we plan these out is basically, along the edge of the cyan terracotta here, we are going to count and find the third block. So like 1, 2, 3. And then we'll move 2 rows backwards, 1, 2, and we'll place a green terracotta. And then we'll leave a gap of 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then another green terracotta, and a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, green terracotta, and then that naturally just leaves a gap of 3. And then we are going to basically make these bushes 3 rows high, and we are going to extend the 2 bottom rows forwards and to the right, so that's each of them, just like this. And this is what it ends up looking like. You could even add a block in this corner now that I'm looking at it. That might improve them, it might not. Maybe we can just do it to like one of them, or both of them, or maybe you leave the middle one like that. It doesn't really matter. So behind these bushes is actually a small basketball court. to make this, all we have to do is leave a gap of 1 and then place a row of red terracotta that just extends from the path all the way to the edge of the grid. The red terracotta also extends along the grid and lines up with the smooth stone that we have over there. The red terracotta is also 2 or rather 3 rows high in total, so we just have to add 2 rows of red terracotta directly on top of it. You could even make it 4. 4 might actually be better. Let's go for 4. So it's a little bit taller than the bushes that way, and this is a little mini basketball court, so it should be a little bit bigger. And that will give us this. The next thing that we have to do is remove the floor of the court, which is just, of course, the area inside of these walls. So we remove all of that grass and then we replace it with good old regular andesite. Next, we are going to make the actual basketball hoops. So to do this, we are going to line up with the left side of this middle bush, so here. And along the inside of this wall, we will place a row of 4 stone brick wall, like this. We will then place a red concrete in front, smooth quartz block either side, and then smooth quartz slab across the top, and then cobweb below and in front of the red concrete. And then we will repeat this on the opposite end of the court. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then red concrete in front, smooth quartz block either side, slab across the top, and then cobweb in the same position. And then we'll just stick an orange shulker box somewhere in the middle, maybe just off to the side so that it's not like right bang in the middle. And that looks pretty good. So the next thing that we are going to move on to is there are a set of benches just along the grass section here. And the way that we are going to find the positions for these is by lining up with the middle of these terracotta areas, so here. We then want to follow along to the edge of this path. We want to count and find the 4th block of grass, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we will place 1, 2, 3 spruce slabs like this. We will then leave a gap of 1, and then we will place 2 spruce trapdoors flipped up here, and then the same on the opposite side. And then we will just join them together with a set of spruce trapdoors. We will then leave a gap of 1 and then place another set of spruce slabs like this, and that is 1 picnic table. We will do the same thing again, except we'll just leave a gap of 3 in between. So like 1, 2, 3, we'll leave that gap, and then we will just recreate exactly what we've made. So we'll start with the 3 spruce slabs, gap of 1, place the spruce trapdoors either side like this, flip them up, join them together in the middle, then leave a gap of 1 and then place the slabs. And now that we have done that, we are going to do the same thing again, except behind what we've made. And we'll once again just leave a gap of 3, so like 1, 2, 3, and then we'll place 1, 2, 3 slabs. And then it's literally just building the exact same thing that we've done already, so... Perfect. So on this left side, we have a set of 4 tables, and then on the right side, we want the same. And the method is the exact same as well. So we're going to line up with the middle of this terracotta area, count, find the 4th grass. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here just 1, 2, 3 slabs. And then we are literally going to replicate what we've made. So that's one set of tables, and then of course we can just leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we can just start the next set. If you wanted to, you could even place like all of the slabs first, and then after that you could just make all of the tables in one if you kind of wanted to economize this a little bit better. I like to do this sometimes. It feels a little bit faster even though it's probably about the same amount of time, but just because you're using a different method, it feels different enough that it actually feels better. So now that we have made each one of our 8 tables, we are now going to come all the way over to this table here, or rather the bench next to the table, and we are going to count diagonally this way and find the 5th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're just going to mark it out with a smooth quartz. We are then going to surround that block with purple slabs. We can remove that smooth quartz. We will then place an oak sapling in the middle of this and bone meal it. I was hoping for a larger tree, I'm going to be honest with you. Well, surrounding the tree, we might have to take care of that later. We are just going to place rows of 3 iron bars, just leaving a gap of 1 from each side of our square. We'll place the iron bars. This isn't going to work. And then we'll place the brown carpet on top. I was really hoping for a larger tree. I think that we're going to have to try this again. Hang on. Let's see if we can get this to work without having to remove the whole tree. Okay, there we go. That's a bit better. That's not bad at all. We can deal with that. So now that we have our tree and little benches surrounding the tree, we are now going to find the grass block in between these 2 tables. So this is right in the middle, and we want to count this way and find the 10th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in this position, we want to place a stone stair. An upside down stair above, stone stair on top, upside down stair. We want to place a couple of oak trapdoors flipped up behind this, and then have an open oak fence gate. Maybe we want it facing the other way. I didn't mean to destroy that block. Let's try that again. There we go. That's perfect. Now that we have made our slide, we are going to count to the left of the front of it, going that way, and we want to find the 9th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remove this block, and then the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remove the row in front and behind. Then remove the 5 middle blocks at the front and the 5 middle blocks at the back. Then remove the 3 middle blocks at the front and the 3 at the back. And we have essentially just created a circle. And that circle, I don't know if you can tell, lines up with the entrance / exit. We will then fill this in with sand. The purpose of the sand is for it to act as a base for our climbing frame. So to begin, we will place 1, 2 polished tuff wall here, 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 and here. We will then join each of these rows together on their given side, and then we will join them together in the corners, just like this. We will then extend those corner blocks up by 2, just like this. I don't know if this is too tall. That might be a little bit too tall. So maybe we'll just extend them up by 1 and then just join them together like this. I think that ultimately looks better, doesn't it? I was going to make it a little bit taller, but I think that that's what we're looking for. So now that we have done that, and I am considering also adding an extra row of sand just around this. I think that it might look better as well, because it looks like a very meager amount of sand, doesn't it? Like, I'm just imagining myself falling off the top of this climbing frame directly onto the grass. Is sand even better to fall on than grass? I don't even know. But now that we have made this, we are going to count from this block here, or rather we are just going to follow along from this block, and we are going to line up with that area here. So this area in between the table and the spruce slab, extending from this polished tuff, is where they want to intersect. And in that position, we will place a red sandstone wall. We will then extend it up by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then forwards by 2, 1, 2, and then extend all the way down. Then extend this middle block at the top across by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, using polished black stone wall. Place a red sandstone wall on the end, extend it left and right, and then extend those blocks all the way down to the ground. We will then place rows of 2 iron chains, extending down from the left side of our polished black stone wall and the right side, and then we will simply just place dark oak trapdoors underneath, just like this. Now that we have completed this portion of the schoolyard, we are going to head all the way over to the back corner of our grid, the actual corner, and we are going to count inwards, diagonally, and find the 6th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remove that block, and then dig 10 rows that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 rows this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then dig across and join back to where we first started. You can then replace all of that with smooth quartz. We have effectively just made a square, by the way. We then want to replace the very middle of the square with a smooth quartz. And then we can remove a row all the way around our smooth quartz. And replace it with sand. And then we can remove all of the grass from inside. And replace that with sand as well. And lastly, all the way over here in this corner, we are just going to place a row of 3 iron bars that kind of just envelop the corner or just act as a bracket around the corner, which we are just going to make 2 rows high. I'm thinking we might even extend them an additional row as well. I think that that might look a little bit better. Or maybe even just another row on top of that, maybe like 5 in total. It just looks a little bit better, I think. It was a little bit lacking. And there we go. This is like a mini baseball field diamond court racket. I don't know what to call these things. We don't really play baseball over here. Next, we are just going to place a few oak saplings just along the back of this field here. You don't have to be too precise with these, just about that many, kind of like nice and evenly spread out. I've kind of done like a little zigzag, And that's pretty much all there is to it in terms of detail back here. In some versions, there are more like play implements, like there's seesaws and stuff, but it rarely, like in the most standard version, it's roughly this what we have here. Next, we are going to add a row of iron bars, starting here from the basketball courts, extending all the way along the edge of the grid, that will ultimately stop when we hit the pathway at the front of the school, all the way on the opposite side. And for some reason, I am struggling to place these. Iron bars seem to remain a weakness for me for some reason. They seem to have a different tempo required to place them, which I find strange, to be honest. It can't just be me. So they extend all the way along the side of this path here. And they stop here, so this pathway here should just extend this way, and that's where the iron bars stop. And now, unfortunately, these have got to be 2 rows high, so we're gonna do that. Oh god, it's worse than the first row. I might just have to place them individually instead of just, I don't know how you guys place blocks, but I usually just like hold my right mouse button down. Or maybe like if you're on console, you just like hold the trigger down on the controller. But that's not working. Wait, now it is. No, it's not. I'm actually going to lose. I might lose it. What if? New tech. No. No, that's worse. Okay. I might have to delete this part of the video. I might just have to do this again. Wow. Okay. Well, now that we have added a chain link fence all the way around the outside of the school, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we have almost made the entire outside portion of the school. There is just one little thing left to build. The school bus. So, I am going to place the school bus in front of the school. However, you could put it in the car park if you like. To position it, I'm going to line up with that window, trace all the way along to the road, and here place a black concrete. To the right of the black concrete, we will place 4 smooth stone slabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a black concrete, 2 more slabs, 1, 2. To the left of the same black concrete, we will place another smooth stone slab, place 2 entire rows of smooth stone slabs extending this way in front of everything that we've made. Then place a black concrete in the same position as we did the opposite side, and then fill the rest of the space in using smooth stone slabs. Then, at the front of the bus, which is this side, you can tell because there is only 1 row of smooth stone as opposed to 2. We will then place furnaces on top of these 2 middle blocks, with ladders in front of the furnaces and yellow carpet on top. We will then place yellow concrete either side of the furnaces, and also just extending around the back. On this side of the school bus, we will place an additional yellow concrete, followed by an oak door. Then we will place yellow concrete extending all the way along the edge of the base of the school bus. We will then place a row of glass pane directly behind the furnaces, just left to right. I'm contemplating filling the entire bonnet in with yellow carpet, or does it look better just to conceal the furnaces? I'm not sure. I'm asking for a friend. We will then place a yellow concrete behind each pane of glass, extending along the frame here. And then it works out that we can leave a gap, place a yellow concrete, gap, concrete, extending along the side of the bus. Then we can fill all of these gaps in with glass. Then we can add a layer of yellow concrete along the left, back, and right sides of the bus. These two middle blocks, I'm actually just going to fill in with yellow terracotta. I'm not certain as to whether to extend it all the way to the back, to be quite honest, and maybe even these bottom two blocks as well. That's something that I've been thinking about, and I guess I'll just let you guys make the decision. I think it looks better this way, how I've just done it, but next we are going to add item frames to the two front corners of the bus and just place glass pane inside. Then extending along the side of the bus is a bunch of dark oak signs. The only places where they aren't is right here next to the door. We have an iron bar, and then we continue our signs all the way to the back corner where we will place an acacia button, and then an item frame here on the back two corners with red stained glass pane in the item frames. And then extending all the way along the opposite side of the bus, we will have the dark oak signs. So again, depending upon which version of the bus you see, there is either some sort of paneling, some sort of writing, something along the side of the bus. So you don't even have to include this if you don't like. I just think it looks more school bussy, and again, I just don't know. It's up to you. You may prefer this, you may not. I'll let you guys be the judge. Then we are going to place mangrove buttons here and here. And here's another something I'm not sure I like. I don't think I do, to be honest. I originally placed levers here and here to act as kind of wing mirrors. Next, we are going to make the wheels, which requires us cracking open a balloon, putting a light grey banner in there with black dye, applying the fess pattern, followed by the boar jaw pattern. We can then take that banner and place it along the sides of our wheels. And I just think that looks fantastic. Next, we are going to add a stone brick stairs to the entrance of the bus so that we can actually climb up into it. Iron chain here, oak trapdoor on top, mangrove stairs behind, lever here. Then we just leave a gap of one, mangrove stairs, gap of one, mangrove stairs along the back, against the back. Guys, I think I've been doing this tutorial too long. You can see where we've placed the stairs. And once you've done that, we have actually made the entire bus. With that final detail added, we have officially completed the outside of the build, and now we can head inside and work on the interior. There is an overwhelming amount of empty space inside the school. I think that the most logical place to start is with the ground floor and then just work our way up. Literally. So come all the way to the main entrance. Right of this block here, we will place a cyan terracotta. Then place 3 cyan shulker boxes behind it. 1, 2, 3. Place a cyan terracotta, stripped mangrove wood, then a cyan terracotta, 3 cyan shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. Then 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2. We then want to start extending this way and place a cyan terracotta, 3 cyan shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. 3 more cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3. 3 more shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. Then 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2. And then we want to start extending this way and place 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, then a stripped mangrove wood, And then 3 cyan terracotta, 1, 2, 3. And then we will start extending this way, and we will place 1 cyan terracotta, 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3, then 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. We will then place 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2. We will then start extending back towards the back of the school, and we will place a cyan terracotta, stripped mangrove wood, cyan terracotta, 3 cyan shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, then a cyan terracotta, 3 more shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, and then finally a cyan terracotta. I know that this looks incredibly weird right now, but trust me when I tell you it gets better. So now that we have done this on that side of the build, we want to replicate it onto this side. So come to the main entrance once again, and starting left of this side now, we will place a cyan terracotta in this position, and then 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, then a terracotta, stripped mangrove wood, terracotta, 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, then 2 terracotta, 1, 2, extend this way, and place a terracotta, 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, then 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3, then 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, then place 2 terracotta, 1, 2, then start extending this way and place 2 terracotta, 1, 2, a stripped mangrove wood, and then place 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3. Then we start extending this way, and we place a terracotta, 3 cyan shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. Then 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3. Then 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3. Then 2 cyan terracotta, 1, 2. We then start extending this way and place a terracotta, stripped mangrove wood, terracotta, 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, cyan terracotta, 3 shulker boxes, 1, 2, 3, and then finally a cyan terracotta to give us this. So now, on top of the cyan terracotta blocks, we are going to stack 4 rows of light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to do this wherever we have the cyan terracotta, we will place the light grey concrete. So now that we have placed all of that light grey concrete, we are going to join the top 3 rows of the concrete together. So 1, 2, 3, just like this. And then the opposite side, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that we're making a bit of progress. So these are the walls for the main hallway. Now let's make the floor. So the floor is going to sit inside of the big plush shape that we've created. And it's made by placing alternating stripped mangrove wood and brown terracotta. And that's it. Typically speaking, I would suggest placing all of one of these materials first, and then swapping to the other afterwards. But unfortunately, we can't really do that unless we place like a floor for us to then place the floor, which would just take more time than what we're doing now, so I think what I'll do is just extend the floor from front to back, just go all the way to the back entrance, and then we can just work on the sides. And I will say, what I'm doing now is kinda satisfying. Well, it was. We did have a nice flow going until then. Just about hit the back now. Gonna have to spin around in a second, I think. Okay, so then these will be mangrove, and then these brown terracotta. Perfect. So now we can actually walk around on the floor, which is a nice change. And we are just going to extend the pattern here, just left and right. Extending all the way to here. Oh, and by the way, so wherever I placed the mangrove in between the cyan terracotta was a placeholder for a door. So you can remove that block if you like, and then just stick a continuation of the pattern. And do we have a door? I've been using oak doors, but I'm wondering whether jungle doors might be nice as well. They've kind of got a nice vibe to them, and they sort of fit the colour scheme as well, but either one is probably fine. But anyway, there we go. And then let's just hop over to this side, and then we can mess about with the doors a little bit later. And then we have another one here, mangrove, and then jungle. So in the original Simpsons, like, the door is like a purpley sort of thing. There's nothing to replicate it. You know what? A mangrove door might actually be, like, best. Maybe we'll go with mangrove. I don't know. It might be a bit too much. I am kind of enjoying jungle, but I'll test out a few of them, I think. So those are all of... That's all of the floor. I am just going to pop around, and I'll go with the mangrove door for now, but I'm just going to pop around and stick doors where they are meant to go. So once again, it's wherever you have that mangrove, and I guess, you know what, it might have meant to be, because we used a mangrove block, maybe a mangrove door makes even more sense than before. So there we go. That's honestly looking so much better now. I really like that. Next, let's make the ceiling. So the ceiling is made by placing alternating smooth stone and polished andesite blocks just above the main entrance doorway, and pretty much in the exact same fashion that we did the floor, we are just going to spread this throughout the halls. And I am also thinking of spreading it into the relevant rooms as well. Some classrooms have the same ceiling as this, whilst others don't. But whilst we are doing this, it does kind of make sense to fill in the classrooms where it is the same. And once again, I'm just going to extend all the way to the back of the build, and then I'll just spread out to the sides. We've hit that point again where I think that we have to turn around. Actually, no we don't. So we have made the middle bit, and now let's just hop over to the right side. And then the left. Perfect. So now if we just jump down into the hallway, we should get quite a drastic change. This is starting to feel a lot better already. And shall we just swap that to a mangrove door? Right, I do think that probably is wise to get the ceilings taken care of. So, this is the main entrance, right? The classroom's directly to the left. That's 4th grade. And to the right, that is 2nd grade. And they share the same ceilings as the hallway. So, we are going to continue our patterns into these rooms. And we just have to spread it to here, basically. So, we just have to turn this into, like, a square, and it'll reach its natural end is basically what I'm trying to say. So just continue the pattern, and you'll kind of realize the point where it's like, oh hey, yeah, this is where we go to. Perfect, and then the opposite side. Perfect, so now we just have to break back in to the hallways, which is hard, by the way. Okay, there we go. Right, so before we move into the individual rooms, I would like to add these stairs to take us to the next floor. So as we look towards the back of the build, we have a staircase here and a staircase here that just extends upwards naturally, as you might expect a staircase to extend up. And my recommendation is to add 2 or 3 more rows of stairs once you actually extend up and out. Probably 2 will do just fine. And these visible ones we will just place upside down underneath them, and then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So the reason that we're going a bit higher than you might think that we need to is because there's actually 3 layers of ceiling in between or 3 layers of blocks in between like the ground level and the actual second floor. So that's why we have more than just, than what we need just to get up there. So we've placed the upside down stairs now. Now the very last thing before we start heading into these rooms is I want to label them, and I'm not sure what sign to use to label them. I wanted to use oak originally, but mangrove would match the doors, pale oak signs would rarely pop, or maybe even the acacia signs were kind of like tie in with everything else. So let's try that. So right of this door, so this is the main entrance. As we walk in, the room directly to the left of us is 4th grade. So just going to write 4th grade. As we move along, this door here, this is for the teacher's lounge. I hope I spelled lounge correctly. As we move around, just kind of clockwise through these halls, this door right here will take us to the gym. On the opposite side of the hall, we have the auditorium. Moving around, this room right here is the music room. And then finally, opposite 4th grade is 2nd grade. Perfect. I think that it's about time that we start working on classrooms, and I would very much like to begin with 4th grade. For those of you unaware, this is Bart's classroom. So I have a soft spot for Bart. I think that this is where we should start. That rhymed, and I genuinely did not intend that to. Okay, so in here, first of all, we are just going to add some brown wool, just extending from the door all the way back here. We have to extend back about as far as where we have these windows, and actually that's perfect because it cross-sects with this cyan terracotta. So if we fill about this much of the floor in, some of this will be a little bit unnecessary, but I would just like somewhere to stand, I'd love it if we could stand inside of the classroom rather than just float ethereally throughout the room, so right, that feels so much better. Now that we've got a floor, let's add some walls. We'll start here. So we will place a row of green terracotta across the base of this wall in between the windows to this point. Then we will extend the green terracotta all the way to the right to this wall, and then along the base of this wall, along the inside here, past the entrance, and this is the size of the room. We can then just fill the rest of the walls in with lime terracotta. So this is why the school on the inside is a little bit more complicated than you might imagine, because we have like double and triple walls and ceilings in places. Like, quite a lot of the rooms just are so incredibly different from each other, which is also a really good thing because it's nice that all of the rooms have quite a bit of a different personality, like from here to here. As we walk into the classroom, we want to be greeted with a blackboard. To make this, we will remove these two lime terracotta blocks right in the middle of this wall, then the 2 rows to the left and 2 rows to the right, and we will replace these with black concrete. Then, on this wall to the right, we will leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, remove 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and the row above of course, and then we will replace all of them with spruce planks. In this corner here, we will place, or rather, leave a gap of 1 and then place 1, 2, 3 bookshelves extending along the wall. We will also place a flower pot in this position. Over here in this corner, we will place a row of 1, 2, 3 bookshelves. We have to throw down limb, open it up, white banner in there with black dye, apply the pale pattern, and then the fest pattern, put white dye in, apply base, and then pale Dexter. That is a clock banner, which we will stick right here above the pot. Next, we will place a stone button next to the door with a bell above it. We also want to place a painting above these bookshelves, so a 2x1. We want a 1x1 in between the windows. We also want a 1x1 above this set of bookshelves as well, just right up the middle. Stone button here, pale oak sign here. We have to make Miss Crabapple's table, so this is a mangrove stair right here in this position, and then we want to place 2 upside down oak stairs here, kind of pointing together, then an oak slab in between them, oak signs in front, item frame here, book here, flower pot here, and now we just have to make the desks. So we'll leave a gap of 1 from the middle of Crabapple's desk, and we will place flipped up spruce trapdoors joined together in the middle with a spruce trapdoor, if that makes sense. Then behind that, a mangrove stair, leave a gap and then do the exact same thing. So we just flip up 2 spruce trapdoors and then just join them together in the middle, mangrove stair behind it. We can then just leave a gap of 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then we just want to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to make all of the tables first and then chuck the stairs behind them. And that's perfect, and that's about as much detail as we can cram into this room. So that is 4th grade complete. Moving all the way across the hall into the 2nd grade classroom. This is Lisa's class, by the way. The first thing we will do is use stripped jungle wood to make the floor, which means that we may have to replace these blocks underneath the doors as well, but I'll leave it for now. We will place the jungle wood, I think, like this, so extending from this way to this way, and I'm just going to mark out from here the end of the cyan terracotta for the hallway all the way to this window, and then we'll just place it, because I'm pretty sure that the stripped jungle wood looks better placed this direction. I think so, versus this direction. Yes, counterintuitively, the grain of the jungle woods is like it seems to be placed in the opposite direction that you placed it. Like the orientation that we're placing it now would suggest that like the grain of it should be like this way, but it's not, which is kind of weird. So just place it underneath here. And there we go. Perfect. The next step is to make the walls. So the base of the walls are made using light blue terracotta. So we are just going to extend across the base of the front of the school wall here. Then across from this window to the hallway wall. All the way back to here. Across here. Through the door and join back to where we first started. So this is the identical size to Bart's classroom. And then we are just going to stack magenta terracotta on top of the light blue terracotta. And this is what I mean with like the identities of these classrooms. Like they feel very, very different. Like just walking the halls, like popping into each room. It's not very often that you have a build that's big enough that you're able to do something like this, and I really, really appreciate it. So there we go. That's awesome. Like you can just see the difference between each one of these rooms now. And the first thing that we want to see as we walk into the classroom is once again a blackboard. So we are going to remove these two middle blocks, the 2 rows to the left, the 2 rows to the right, and then we are going to place black concrete in its space. Then, coming all the way over to this corner of the room, we will place a lime terracotta, cauldron, tripwire hook above it, then 2 more lime terracotta. We then will place 1, 2, 3 green terracotta, extending up, and then right. In this corner, we will place 2 more, and then we will just fill underneath in with green terracotta. Here, we will place an iron bar, leave a gap, iron bar, just like this. We will then place an oak slab in this corner, and then a lime candle to the left, orange candle left of that, light grey candle left of that. Then we want to remove these 4 blocks here and replace the top 2 with red concrete and underneath with white. A white banner here. Then a stone button here. We will then place a bell here. We were also meant to place 4 lime terracotta here, just left of the door. Then we will place... I've just got rid of the material. We will then place a bookshelf in this corner. Remove a 2x2 square of the magenta terracotta and replace it with spruce planks. We will then stick a cherry sign here, a pale oak sign here. Then we will make the teacher's desk, so a mangrove stair right here. Then in front of this, an oak slab. And either side of this, upside down, inwards facing oak stairs with oak signs in front of the desk and an item frame on top of the center block. We can then place a book in this item frame, a flower pot off to the side, a flower pot here as well. And I'm just realizing that we need the clock banner again, so I'm just going to run over here and steal this one. It is meant to be placed above this pot, so right here. We also want to place a 1x1 painting here in between these windows, just like so. And then we can make all of the desks. So the desks are actually placed, leaving a gap of 1 just off to the side, just like left and right like this. So we can make the desks in the exact same way as we made the other desks, just like this. Then we'll place the mangrove stairs directly behind, leave a gap of 1, and then do the exact same thing again. I actually don't know the name of Lisa's teacher. Is it Miss Hoover? Have I completely made that up? I don't know. But I will say, aesthetically, I do prefer her classroom to Miss Krabappel's. So this is the classroom finished. I'm very happy with this. This is awesome. So next we are going to head out, and I think that since we're on this side of the school anyway, let's head all the way over to the music room. As we head into the music room, I think the step 1, we should just make the floor again. It makes sense. So the floor is made using alternating light blue and blue terracotta. So we're just going to extend from the door all the way to this wall, and then we are going to add a couple more rows extending this direction, so all the way to here. Even though we're almost certainly going to be placing a wall on top of this, but that's fine. So all the way to here, and then we can start extending the other way. think it might be that time where it's easier to just do it underneath the windows. There always comes a time in a Minecrafter's life. Right, so then we can extend this way. And that's perfect. I love this floor, by the way. So next we are going to line the walls with stripped oak wood. So I'm just going to start next to the door, extend it around the windows here, and I guess that I am just going to place it directly on top of here. So the wall, yeah, the wall does extend from this part. I just had to check. And we will make the stripped oak woods as high as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, actually, we do have to install another ceiling here too, so we are just going to extend the stripped oak up. Got to make sure that it's placed the right way, otherwise we will learn very quickly that it looks weird. Right, let's take a look. I think that we've actually managed to place it all the right way, which is perfect. So the ceiling is meant to be a mixture of polished andesite and smooth stone, which is a shame because I actually really like how all of these materials pull together, but we do not go by our own personal preference, unfortunately. We are sticking to the actual source material. So, once again, polished andesite, smooth stone, just placed alternating in a checkered pattern. Now that we have the floor, walls and ceiling, let's do some decorating. As we walk into the classroom, we want to see a whiteboard. So we want to remove these two stripped wood, and then the 2 rows to the right, and replace all of these with white concrete. We then want to leave a gap of 1 and then remove 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and replace these blocks with green concrete. Turning our attention to this back wall, we want to remove these 2 rows, and then the 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and replace these with white concrete. Then on this right wall over here, we leave a gap of 1, and we remove 3 rows, and replace these with spruce planks. In this corner here, we will place 1, 2 green concrete, with a skeleton skull on top of one of these, and red banners in front. We will then place a stone button here, a bell here, and then we will place a clock here. We will then place a mangrove stair here, gap, stair, gap, stair, gap, stair, gap, stair, and then leaving a gap of 1 in front of these and in between these, we will place a series of more stairs. We will then place iron bars here, here, and here, and here, here, and here, just like this. Then a lectern here, book and quill here. We can then place a painting here, pale oak sign here. We'll do a similar thing here too, so we'll just have like a painting here, say. Pale oak sign there. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it. That is the music room. Now, for no other reason than it just feels right, we are going to head all the way over to the opposite side of the school, into the teacher's lounge, and we are going to begin work here. So, step one, the floor. We are going to use a checkered mix of smooth stone and polished andesite, which is funny because this is usually the ceiling material, but it's kind of topsy-turvy in the teacher's lounge, which is kind of funny when you think about it. So just extending from that corner to here, and then all the way towards the front of the room. And then once again, we're at that point where it gets tricky again. We actually can't... I've trapped myself. Okay, there we go. Perfect, so that is the floor. Now let's talk about the walls. So the walls are made using light grey terracotta for the base, which we will just place all the way around the edge of our floor as it lines all the way up with here, which is where we're meant to be. And through and past the door, just like this. And then we can stack white terracotta on top of this, all the way up to the ceiling, which we will also have to replace. Right, so next we are going to add a layer of cyan terracotta to the ceiling. Now that we have a floor, walls, and a ceiling, let's get to work. So first of all, we have to alter this wall right here. We will remove the two middle rows. So this is the wall to the right as we walk in. And we just want to place some white terracotta behind what we just destroyed. And I suppose we do want to extend the ceiling as well, now that I think about it. And then at the base, we'll have some lime terracotta, light grey concrete here, item frame here, and then stone pressure plates on top of the light grey concrete and the lime terracotta. Then all the way over here in this corner, we will place a row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lime terracotta extending along the wall, 2 block of iron, which we will then extend up by 2 rows, iron bar here. Then we'll come all the way back to this end and we'll extend these 2 blocks up by 2. Then this block to the left by 2. Then we will place an item frame here, lever here, stone pressure plate here, brewing stand here. Then place a flower pot, leaving a gap of 2 in front of this. 1, 2. We will place an acacia stair. Leave a gap of 2 to the left. 1, 2. And then place another acacia stair. Then, leaving gaps of 2 from these stairs, we want to place another set of stairs. Then we will flip up some spruce trapdoors on the ends of these stairs, and then join the stairs, or rather join the trapdoors together with trapdoors like this to create a table. Then on the wall behind the table, we will remove these 4 blocks that are the same length as the table and replace these with spruce planks. Then we will leave a gap of 2 from these 2 stairs here, so 1, 2, and then we will place another set of stairs just facing the opposite way. So leave a gap of 2, place the stairs, leave another gap of 2, and then place another set of stairs. And then we will make the exact same kind of table, but it's just orientated the opposite way. And then we will join these spruce trapdoors together. Then this time we will remove just these 4 blocks here, corresponding with the table, and we will replace those with white concrete. So on here we can place like a painting and a sign, maybe even a stone button here, and here we can do the same thing, so a painting and maybe a sign over here. Above the door we will have a bell, and to the right of it we will have a stone button. And we do also want to have some more paintings as well, so a 1x1 on this wall, and another 1x1 on this wall, and a 1x2 on this wall. I'm looking for Pinocchio, preferably. That is better. And that is it, unless you want to add like cups and stuff to the tables, which you certainly could, and some item frames and stuff if you wanted to. We could even add like a bin in the corner. Now this isn't portrayed in the actual source material, or not as I've seen, but it would make sense to have like a bin somewhere. That's it. That is the Teacher's Lounge complete. Next we are going to get out of here and wander all the way around the corner into the gym. And the gym is such an absolute mess. I think that step 1, we are just going to make the floor. The floor is made primarily with oak planks. We do actually have to, I suppose now, engrave the basketball court into the floor, but I think that it's just easier to start with a blank canvas of these oak planks than it would be to kind of just try and build it into the floor. It's, you know guys, I found that it's so much easier to build when you can actually like walk around on a flat surface, so I think that this is a sacrifice that I am willing to make. There we go. That's better. So let's talk about the walls. The walls are made by placing a layer of cyan terracotta all the way around the base of them. And we are just going to start by following the shape of the room. So just like this. I'm realizing we may even have to alter the Teacher's Lounge ever so slightly, but we will follow the shape of the room, placing our cyan terracotta across the base of it, and then we will just add the light grey concrete on top. Although, depending upon your own personal opinion, this may not be sufficient. So, the problem that we have with this is that we have like a weird alcove in the gym where we have these windows, and the gym is meant to just be like a big rectangular room, but I am kind of considering whether this is even a problem or not, to be honest, or whether we can have this as a feature rather than a bug. Like, try and make the room just a little bit bigger. Originally, in the original version of this, I don't have any windows. I just made a false wall and false windows. And that is something that we can definitely consider, but I think that it might be nicer to just keep like the extra room in here. We really should strike a balance with authenticity and just like how the rooms actually feel too, I think. So yeah, this is a problem right here, okay? If we remove this terracotta, then this area in the teacher's lounge is kind of like, you know, we have a bit of a problem if we kind of like seal this up. But I don't think that I mind a little bit of a light grey backsplash to this. The alternative, and it's one that we could definitely do, is we can just like shove everything one row forwards, and then that way we can just add the white terracotta back in there, and that would be fine. That's something that you can do if you want. I might very well come and fix this after we've done all of the other rooms, but for now, let's just break back into the gym and we can get all of this sorted. Step 1, let's make the basketball court. So we leave a gap of 2 from in front of this cyan terracotta, 1, 2, and then we destroy a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white concrete extending across here, just like this. We then dig that direction, and the goal is to leave a gap of 3 at the end. So 1, 2, 3. And then we can just dig across. And we can join all the way back to where we first started like this. So we create a rectangular shape. Like so. Now, we should be able to cut this in half, like just straight through the middle. And that will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. We will then take the middle block here and then dig left and right and place white concrete in there instead. And then at the very ends of the court, we will remove this block, and this block, and we will replace those with white concrete. And the same on the opposite side. So this block, and this block, and replace those with white concrete. And then either on top of these blocks or just behind so that there's a bit more room on the court, we will place rows of 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it might have to be 3. Otherwise, we're going to be... Yeah, we'll go with 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll place red concrete here, smooth quartz block either side, and then smooth quartz slab over. If we do it one row higher, we are one row away from the roof, which I think will actually look better than having a smaller basketball hoop. I think that I'd rather have that than just be edge a little too close to the ceiling. So we'll do that on that side and this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then red concrete, cobweb underneath and in front, smooth quartz block either side, and then smooth quartz slab across the top. And then the obligatory orange shulker box just right in the middle of the court. And then, just off to the side here, I think is a good place to have some benches. So we are just going to line these up with like this little bit of window here. So we'll have one bench here, and then I guess maybe we'll just have... In this corner, I kind of want a stack of dodgeballs in reference to the dodgeball episode of The Simpsons. I think that is pretty good. That looks great. I think that I'm also just going to add a clock above the bench as well, and a bell above the door here. And we should actually make the ceiling. So the ceiling, we actually just have to remove this row of terracotta here and then kind of just extend the light grey terracotta that we have. The ceiling material is actually non-negotiable for the gym because part of it is the actual roof for the outside. I know I was getting stuck on something there. It's the actual roof for the outside, so we don't have a choice. Half of the ceiling could be the material that we actually want, but yeah. Oh, so that is the problem. I guess it's half a row. It's very much almost touching the ceiling, so it does depend on if you care about the hoops. I think it looks better this way, so we are then just going to fill this in with light grey concrete. And I think that this looks fantastic. This is where we are going to leave it, unless you want to add some extra benches on the side, but I think that this is perfect. With the gym complete, we are going to head all the way across the hall into the auditorium, which was a new word for me, to be quite honest. We would have just called this an assembly hall over here, but auditorium does sound fancier, I will say. So, First of all, we are just going to make the floor, which is made using purely brown wool. Once again, some of this will go to waste with the walls and whatever else we decide to add in here, but we need something to walk around on. It feels really weird to just like building stuff that's just like floating in the air. I don't like it, so the floor it is. There we go, it just feels better. Okay, so before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think I'm actually just going to make the ceiling, which is once again, unfortunately, just light grey terracotta. We do not have a choice. It's the same situation as the gym. If we knock out these blocks, like this is just daylight, so unless we were to shrink the size of the room, which I don't want to do because it's meant to be quite a grand room. Same with the gym, I just didn't want to lose any head height in there. We're stuck with this, but it's fine, the colour scheme kind of works. Sort of, not really. The light grey and the terracotta and what have you don't particularly, blend that well, but it is actually what the auditorium somewhat looks like. Perfect, so now that we've done that, we are just going to add the walls, which are once again, the Simpsons love this colour scheme. Cyan terracotta at the base, and then we are going to build up the rest of it with light grey concrete, so I don't know why I'm skipping placing it across the back of here. Now, I didn't actually include the windows in the original version of the auditorium either, kind of like with the gym, so we are winging it a little bit, but I think that it'd be nicer with some natural light in here, and it will make the room feel a little bit bigger. Plus, it's not exactly accurate anyway. In the original version of the Simpsons auditorium, there's meant to be like exits and stuff, but we can't add those because there's not really anywhere to put them. I also don't know why I'm tracing around the lockers. I think that I just went into autopilot mode. Yeah, so as I was saying, there would ideally be like a door here, but we have a window instead, so yeah, we're going to keep the window, I think. So, in this room, all the way out the back of the room, we are going to have 4 rows of oak planks extending forwards from this wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will have 2 oak stairs extending in from the left and right in front of the oak planks. We will also back this area with alternating red and pink terracotta, just like this. We want to extend them all the way up to the ceiling. So it's kind of like a backdrop to a curtain. So the curtain is made using red wool in front of these first rows of pink terracottas, which we will just connect together in the middle like this. And then we'll stick glow item frames underneath these red walls. And then we will place oak planks here and here. And that is the stage. We also want to add a lectern up here as well, which if you want, you can add a book and quill to, if you think they'll make it look any better. We will then leave a gap of 3 from the inside of either one of these stairs, so 1, 2, 3, and then we want to place alternating mangrove and crimson stairs, and these are just stairs that are just like meant to be stacked together, and we'll just leave gaps of 1, and then we will place the Yeah, we'll go for alternating. We will place the alternating set behind these, just leaving gaps of one until it becomes obvious that we probably shouldn't place any more. I think I'm going to place all of one first. I think that, yeah, I think that at this point, I think that's enough. Maybe one more. This entire room is meant to be chairs mainly, so yeah, there we go. That looks fantastic. And then, as I said, this wasn't in the original, but maybe we can have just like a couple of extra chairs just off to the side, maybe where like teachers would sit or something like that. Maybe, no, not an extra lectern. Maybe we'll have like a clock on the wall somewhere, so maybe like above here. Maybe even here, maybe we'll have, nah, we'll not have multiples, but there we go. A clock on the wall, and then our patented bell above the door, and that's it. We have almost completed the entire ground floor, but we do have a couple of things to change first. So now it's an appropriate time for us to actually fix the locker situation, which just means placing cyan shulker boxes like this instead of how we had them. They just look much better this way. There's quite a few of them around, so just make sure that you get them all. The sneakiest of the shulker boxes are underneath the stairs. But if you kind of just go around in a clockwise fashion or anti-clockwise, whatever, then you can't really go too far wrong. I think that this is the last set right here, actually, so let's just make sure. Perfect. And unfortunately, I wish I could go back and edit this in a way that wouldn't just completely ruin the video. I am just going to move this entire wall section just one row forwards in the teacher's lounge, because it would bother me. Doesn't it seem like such a not a big deal, like 5 light grey concrete blocks? And yet here I am, annoyed by them. So I am just going to shove everything forwards. It's not really too time consuming to do. There we go. I'm sorry about that little mistake, but you know what? This build is so big we are bound to make them. And by we I mean me, because well, I'm the one who's meant to know how it goes. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed the entire ground level of our school, which means it is now time for us to head upstairs and work on level 2. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? This is looking a lot less daunting than I thought it would. I think it's because we have just built so much downstairs that this just seems like nothing in comparison. Okay. Step 1, we are going to divide this space into rooms. To begin, we will place a row of cyan terracotta, just extending along the top of our light grey concrete here, just all the way from one side to the other. And that gives us a very big room behind it. That is going to be the cafeteria. We actually have to make the cyan terracotta 3 rows high in total. And then we can just place light grey concrete on top, extending all the way up to the very top of the ceiling. And this is going to look really weird, but as I mentioned earlier, there's actually 3 blocks just in between the ground floor and the second floor. So that's what most of the cyan terracotta is. There is only one entrance into the cafeteria, which I do believe is here. Yeah, so it lines up with the middle of this window, and the middle of that window, incidentally. And it's 3 rows wide, and it goes right there, which again, it looks weird now, but it won't. Now, for the back of the build, we will actually place cyan terracotta directly behind the stairs, and we are just going to divide this area up. And by the way, we want to place, once again, 3 rows of cyan terracotta and then light grey concrete afterwards. We are going to just divide this back area into just one big giant room for now, but ultimately it will be 3. Right in the middle, here, is Principal Skinner's office. Where I am now will be the computer lab, and on the opposite side over there will just be the toilets. There's only one toilet. I couldn't fit a girls' and a boys' bathroom, unfortunately. I also couldn't gather enough information. I wanted to make the boiler room, but I couldn't get enough of an image of what it looked like. And at the end of the day, I do also want this to kind of like be a bit more of a realistic version of a school, so I threw the toilets in here instead. Okay, so now we have these 2 walls. I do also just want to figure out... Oh, actually, we do also have to join them together on the ends here. So we do also just have to cover up this terracotta with both the cyan terracotta and the light grey concrete as well. So on this side, and this side too. There we go, that's perfect. And opposite this gap here, or when this gap, this entrance into the cafeteria is where Principal Skinner's office will go. So this is, yeah, that should line up with the middle of that window. The entrance into the computer lab, we want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want the actual entrance. And then the entrance into the toilets, we leave a gap of 2, and then we have the entrance. So, just like this. So, next, we are just going to extend the blocks around the stairs up. So, we're going to extend all of these smooth stone and polished andesite up like this. I didn't know what else to do in regards to decorating the stairs area, to be quite honest, and we want to do this on the opposite side as well. Yeah, I didn't know what... I'm just making sure 3 to the left, 3 to the right, yep. I didn't know how to decorate the outer edge of the stairs. I didn't know whether to just like continue the floor pattern, but then that seemed a little bit weird. I didn't know whether to add something around it, which is what I've got now. I've just realised these stairs have to be higher, don't they? So here... yeah, so we just have to raise them up. Ultimately, I decided to kind of just like continue extending these blocks up so that as we're walking upstairs, like it's not like a massive stark contrast in materials. And I'm just realizing, actually, the stairs, that's where the stairs go. They go here, don't they? So here, I went up 1 row too high. My bad. There we go. That's perfect. And then for the actual hallway material, ladies and gentlemen, we're going back to the good old tried and true stripped mangrove and brown terracotta. So, what am I doing? Guys, am I okay? I don't know why I'm getting so flustered placing the hallway, but for some reason, I'm falling apart. But it's okay, we've regained control, and now we are making the floor. So it's the same floor as we have downstairs in the same pattern. It's once again kind of like tricky to get all of this placed because we are just placing it kind of like mid-air. Missing some here. We should fill in this gap. Try my best to place all of one material first, just because I find that a little bit easier, and then we can place all of the other. And then we can place these against the wall. I don't know if I mentioned this already or not, so forgive me if I have, but we are also going to have lockers up here as well. But I think that we're just going to wait until we have all of our walls placed properly, like the insides of them as well, and then we're going to sort it out. So at the top of the stairs, I've opted for some spruce fence, but I'm wondering whether glass might actually look better. So originally I used fence, but I think the glass will actually look cleaner. I think that we're going to go for the glass. The glass is going to be good. The glass is better, guys. You know that I'm a scientist. I like to experiment. The glass is definitely better. And also, we are going to place a mangrove stair either side of Principal Skinner's office. We are also going to write Principal Skinner... Or maybe just Principal Skinner, right? I'll just keep it as Skinner's and Principal Skinner's. And then over here on the left is Computer Lab. Here, of course, is the lunchroom. Do we label the lunchroom? Cafeteria. And over here is the toilets. So. No! Not toilets 1. Perfect. So... Or maybe bathroom. It doesn't matter. So there we go. That's looking pretty good. And once again, like I said, once we install all of the lockers as well, this will vastly improve. You know what? I'm pretty sure that that's not how you spell Skinner's. We'll sort it out later. So the first room we are working on is actually Principal Shinner's, I guess. So enter the room and you'll notice that we just have this big giant empty space. Well, step 1 is to divide this area up by placing a row of cyan terracotta underneath this window and then extending the cyan terracotta to the left by 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then extend the cyan terracotta all the way forwards just like this. We will then place light grey concrete on top of these rows, and once we've done that, we will have successfully made the walls for the office. You know, technically speaking, I may have spelled Principal Skinner's name wrong, but there was that episode when we discovered that that actually isn't his name anyway, so... Who's really wrong? It's still me, but still. Okay, perfect. So now for the floor, it's a little bit interesting. We will have a border of light grey terracotta just extending all the way around the outer edge of the floor. And then, oh, and also here too. And then we will fill the middle of it in with magenta terracotta. Perfect. Next, we will place 2 upside down smooth quartz stair over here in this corner with an iron bar next to them. Don't leave any gaps. Place a mangrove stair right here in the middle of this magenta terracotta rug. Then place a spruce slab in front of the mangrove stair and an upside down spruce stair joining together left and right. Then place a mangrove stair opposite, either right up to it or just leave a gap, and then place spruce signs in front of the desk. End rod here on top of the stair with a green carpet on top, and then a lever here. We will then place a flower pot left of the desk, and then lining up with the stair here on this wall, we will place 1, 2 bookshelves, smooth quartz stair here, pale oak sign here, pale oak sign here as well. Then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and place a square of light grey shulker boxes like this against the wall. Bookshelf here. Then we want a clock banner here, bell here. We want a painting here, so specifically a 1x2. That's just fine. We will then, against this wall, leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place 3 stripped spruce wood, with a crafting table here, flower pot here, azalea here, and we want another painting on this wall, so we are just going to place it, we're going to line up with this chair here, and we're just going to have a little 1x1 just on the wall, like this. Maybe we'll even have another as well. There's a few different things on the wall. So maybe we'll just have a couple of them, just like that. And that is perfect. Now, the only thing that we're missing, other than a stone button right next to the door, is the ceiling, but I think that we'll actually take care of all of them in one go a little bit later. Next, we are going to head out of Principal Skinner's office, take a right, head all the way over to the end of the hall, and head into the computer lab. Well, for the computer lab, we are first of all just going to make the floor, which is made entirely out of light grey terracotta, and it just extends from exactly where you think the floor might. And we don't even have to divide this area up at all. In making Principal Skinner's office, it kind of set the boundaries for the computer lab, and kind of almost the toilets as well, but not really. We'll talk about those later. Perfect, so now the walls are also just going to be cyan terracotta at the base, and then light grey concrete on top. Perfect. So now that we have this nice big empty space, let's fill it up. We are going to start on this wall, so as we walk in to the right, this far wall. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place 1, 2, 3 smooth stone slabs. Leave another gap of 2, 1, 2, and then another 3, 1, 2, 3 smooth stone slabs. Grey concrete on top of the middle blocks. Paintings in front. Then rails off to the side, and stone buttons on the remaining. We will then place polished blackstone stairs either in front of, or just like leaving a gap, or maybe even off to the side. We can do this with the others, just like this. We will then leave a gap of 2. So it's difficult, but basically we want to leave like a gap of 2 from this empty space here in between the computers like this, and then we want to create like another desk, so here in this position, and then we will have it's a row of 3 of course, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll leave another gap of 2, so 1, 2, and then have another row of 1, 2, 3, just like this, coming up to the wall. And then we also want to have computers in the same position along the back wall as well, just like this. And we also want to have another computer here. So just so that that makes sense, we basically, you can see, we leave a gap of 2 here, and then we have row 3, gap of 2, row 3, apply the same thing to the back wall, and just 1 here on the front wall, and then we just want to outfit all of these with the exact same setup. So unless you did want to like shift some of the monitors off to the side so that you had like the keyboard and mouse just, you know, next to each other, that's something that you could do if you were passionate about keeping it a little bit different. We would have to mess about with the seating situation a little bit, but if you did want to make it look a little bit more jumbled, a little bit more interesting, you certainly could. And then we can have the painting here as well. And then we will have the stairs again, just kind of like lackadaisically placed, kind of like just here and here, just kind of like, you know, just jumbled up as you might expect students just kind of like leave them. I'm also contemplating adding polished blackstone pressure plates on top of them as well, or maybe some sort of pressure plate. I think those are just fine there. We also have to add a stone button here next to the door with a bell above it, and we do also just have to make a rack by placing some flipped up spruce trap doors like next to each other like this. We might even add another row, so just here. Join them together, smooth quartz stair here, painting here, and then we are going to stick a clock on the wall here in this position. We do also just have to build some bookshelves as well. It's like a really messy room in here, so we'll build some bookshelves here. Maybe we'll even stick some in the... No, we can't do that, can we? But we can stick some in the wall over here though. Perfect. And then I think that we do also just need some paintings on the wall too. So just like one here, for instance, and that might even be it, unless we wanted a few more of them. But I think that will do nicely. And honestly, that's the computer lab complete. Now that we have completed the computer lab, we are going to head all the way down to the opposite end of the hall and work on the toilet / bathroom. So, step 1 in here, we actually have to shrink this area down a little bit. So, underneath the windows, we will place some cyan terracotta, this window. We will then extend left by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're just shrinking the entire room just by 1 row, effectively. Or by 2 rows, actually. So this is going to be the area of the room. So now we can just continue placing the cyan terracotta, just extending around the walls like this. And then we can just build up light grey concrete on top. Perfect. So next, we are going to make the floor, and the floor is just a checkered pattern of light blue terracotta and cyan concrete. So we are just going to place all of the, I guess, light grey terracotta, right? Light blue terracotta, and then we will place the cyan concrete afterwards. Honestly, guys, the names of these terracottas, I know I've been playing this game for so insanely long, they still confuse me sometimes. Perfect, so now let's just place all of the cyan concrete in there. Like, especially the browns, because there's like 2 or 3 different brown looking terracottas, and it's very difficult to guess which ones are which, unless you have a keen eye for that sort of thing, which I guess I don't. Perfect, so this is the space required for the bathroom. Now we are going to make the actual toilets themselves, so we'll space them out like this. We will place a stone brick wall here in this corner, leave a gap, wall, 2 gaps, 1, 2, and then wall, gap, wall, and we will extend the walls forwards by 1 row, and we will extend them up by 2 rows. In each one of these stalls, we will have an upside down smooth quartz stair, even in this double one here. And then we will have spruce trapdoors on top of these, either up or down, it doesn't matter. And then we will stick doors here. When it comes to the double one, actually, we are just going to like cut it off with another row of wall like this. And then we are going to place a cauldron on this wall. Next to it, a stone button with a stone stair on top. And then on this wall, we will place a smooth quartz slab here, gap, slab. And then opposite here, opposite the window, leave a gap, slab, throw down a loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with white dye, apply the bend pattern, then a gradient pattern, black dye in there, apply the bourgeois pattern, and then we will place these mirror banners above the smooth quartz slabs. And this is the toilets. Next, we are going to head out and wander down our hallway all the way to the cafeteria, the largest of our rooms. And I think that first of all, we are just going to make the floor. So the floor is made with light grey terracotta and nothing else. There we go. Next, we can focus on the walls, which we will make by placing a layer of green terracotta all the way along the base of the wall. And I think that, yeah, we can actually just replace this terracotta here. So this rather large window, the centerpiece of the room, you can actually just replace that terracotta completely with our new materials. We have green terracotta for the base of the walls, and we have lime terracotta for everywhere else. I actually didn't realize how big the cafeteria was until we started doing the floor and the walls. There we go. Although we aren't quite done, as we do have to further divide this room, the easiest way to do it is by, as a matter of fact, right next to this window here is where a wall is going to go. That's much easier than counting. So we'll just place a row of green terracotta like this, just extending across the wall, and then we'll just fill the rest of it in. Oh, and also the doorway is just, it's right here. It's just one row away from like the front or the back wall of the cafeteria. You know what? You guys can see where it is. It's all semantics whether this is like the front or the back, but there we go. That's looking pretty good. The next thing we are going to do are make a bunch of lunch tables, which kind of rhymed. All the way over here in this corner, we'll extend inwards diagonally and place a stone slab. Then we'll extend the stone slab to the left, place iron bars in front of it, stone slabs in front, and then light grey carpet on top of that. We'll then leave a gap of 1 and then make the exact same thing in front of it. What am I doing? And then we'll leave a gap of 1 again, and then we'll do the exact same thing one more time. Now, if you wanted to, you could stick one here, but it kind of gets in the way. So instead, we are just going to move to the opposite side of the room, leave a gap of 1 from the wall, and then we are going to make another set of these lunch tables. So I'm going to make them a little bit faster. I'm just going to place all the slabs, all of the iron bars, and then all of the light grey carpets, just like this. Originally, we do have another lunch table, which is like right in the middle of this window. So it kind of like breaks the mold by being 2 rows away from the other tables, but it's kind of like right there as we walk in. I think I'm going to keep it. I was considering getting rid of it, but we're going to keep it. On the walls, we're going to have a bunch of paintings. So like here a 1x1, here a 2x2. So we can place those actually one, but oh my God, they're some of the worst ones. We're on a roll. Okay, fine. No. No. Okay, all right. That's not too bad. I'll settle for those. And then on this wall as well, we're gonna have we'll have another painting. I don't know whether to stick a massive one, to be honest. All right, let's go for it. Let's go for it, why not? Keep it livened up. And then on this wall, uniquely, we are going to remove these 3 blocks corresponding with this table, make it 2 rows high, and then we will just place some spruce planks we'll have a 1x1 painting, just leaving a gap of 1 in between these, and then we'll leave another gap, and then we'll just draw a row of 1, 2, 3, like this, and then we'll just place white concrete in there instead. And that's pretty much it for like the wall decoration. Next, we are going to make, and I don't even know what to call this, the place where we would get the food. To position this, we want to leave a gap of 1 from this stone slab, and then have an oak slab floating in the air magically, which we will stick an item frame on top of, and left of it, 5 string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll place light grey carpet on top, then red concrete behind all of this. We will then place glass pane across the top of the red concrete. As a matter of fact, it might look nicer to have an iron bar on the end as well. I think that actually looks a bit better. And then behind here, we'll place a red concrete here, stone stair here, cauldrons behind all of the red concrete. Then we will place different coloured carpets on top of the cauldrons to represent different foodstuffs. Feel free to use actual food instead. Then in this corner here, we'll have a cyan terracotta. We will then, above this, leaving kind of a gap of 2 in this position, we will place 2 iron trapdoors like this. Flower pot here, purple shulker box on top of the right one. Next, we are going to dig and remove these 2 blocks and replace those with looms. And then, leaving a gap of 1 above this, we want to place 3 smooth quartz stairs, just kind of like joined together around in an arc like that. We are then going to hop into the back room, the kitchen, where we will place a cauldron in this corner with a lever above it, smooth stone slab left of it, then 2 rows of 3 cyan terracotta left of that. In this corner, 2 rows of 3 block of iron with an iron bar in front of the middle left block. Left of this, a cyan terracotta, followed by a furnace, and then 2 more cyan terracotta. We will then leave a gap of 2 from in front of the furnace, 1, 2, and then place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, light grey concrete. We'll add another row this side, and then we will place a brewing stand here, flower pot here, detect rail here. I actually realised we need to have a cauldron here, and then a pale oak fence on top. And then, in this position, just 1 row higher than the looms, we want to place 1, 2, 3 light grey shulker boxes, and then 2 connecting to this wall as air duct, or to act as air ducts, I should say. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually completed every single one of the rooms on the 2nd floor. But we're not quite done. So, first of all, I've walked too far. We have to add a dark oak door here to separate the kitchen and the dining area. We also have to consider adding doors here, but I don't think I'm going to. I think that I might just leave the cafeteria open. Alternatively, just a bunch of doors like this here, I think would be fine. And then we would just have to match the floor here as well. But I don't know, or maybe we could even go with the dark oak just so that it's a bit different. I'm not certain. We also have to add doors everywhere. So again, I'm sticking with the mangrove just because. And I just realised we have to change this sign, so it's not... Also, by the way, earlier I was saying Principal Skinner's, like, a lot, like, it's Principal Skinner. I was listening to myself back and I was driving myself crazy, so I can just imagine you guys were feeling similar. Right, so now that we've done that, let's add all of the lockers into the hallways. So we'll start with the ends of the hall. We are just going to remove just 2 rows of 3 from the middle of these walls and replace them with cyan shulker boxes just like this. And the same over here as well. Perfect. Then along this wall, we are going to leave a gap of 1. Just 1, and then we will remove 1, 2, 3 rows. And then we'll just keep repeating this, so gap of 1 and then 1, 2, 3, gap of 1, 1, 2, 3, and then that will naturally bring us to an end. There we go, that's looking nice. And then the opposite side as well, all the way to the end. gap of 1, and then we just keep knocking out rows of 3, leaving the gaps of 1 all the way to here. And then we can replace all of these with the shulker boxes. And then after this, the very last thing, and by the way, I was considering adding some paintings and stuff to these walls because it looks a bit drab, but anyway, the very last thing that we are going to add is the ceiling, and we'll start with the hallway. So the ceiling is right here. So this equates to us having 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then the ceiling hits. And it's the same ceiling that we have almost everywhere else, really. It's the smooth stone, polished andesite combo. Which would just be so much easier if we could place it onto something, rather than how we've got to place it now. But that's okay. Nice, so this is the hallway ceiling, and since we're here, we'll just do it in the computer lab as well. In the computer lab, it's pretty much the same thing, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And then, do you know what? I don't know whether you guys would prefer this, so like, do we cut it off directly above the windows, as it is meant to be? Like right here above the window line, so actually, yeah, we will do that. And the reason being is because it will just feel cozier in here. I think I was tempted to be lazy because it would have been easier to place it directly onto the pre-existing the roof, which is effectively above us, but I don't think it would be as nice. Like, I think that we want the amount of space in here to be a little bit more limited so that it feels like it's more detailed, so that the room will just feel fuller, basically. I'm in a really weird position right now. It's really hard to do the last of this. I think that we're just going to have to start doing it this way. Perfect. Yeah, see, that's just way better, isn't it? And we are now going to head into Principal Skinner's office, where we will once again do the same. Also, I'm despite the fact that this kind of like pervades through the entire school, I don't care about the pattern of the smooth stone and the andesite like following through room to room. Just, you know, start it off wherever. There is a 50-50 that it does match though. Like, we can actually check it with the hallway. It would be pretty cool if it was the same. Right, let's take a look. So on the opposite side of this door should be a polished andesite if it's the same. Let's take a look. Ha! Okay, well, it matches. So let's actually match it for the toilet. So on the opposite side of this door must be a smooth stone, and then it follows on, so to speak. Am I making sense? I don't even know. I do know that every single one of these rooms that we've made will now feel so much better now that they've got an actual proper ceiling. There we go. Fantastic. So, moving into the last room, which is, of course, the cafeteria. Here, I suppose it's up to you, because it actually... It's borderline feels nicer in here, doesn't it? That it's like a bit more open. Like, we actually get the full view of the window. It's got a space all the way around it. Same here for this. Like, here it doesn't matter as much. I'm tempted to just leave this. I know that the floor and the ceiling are the same, but I don't think I actually care. I think that it will look better this way than if we were to line the ceiling. So I'm actually going to leave it. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, with that final detail added, or in that case, not added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add Springfield Elementary into our city. Now, where in the mini city can we put this? I actually already know the answer. I'm sorry, guys. It is going into suburban storage with all of the other recent Simpsons builds. When the suburbs get refurbed, this is going to be part of it. I know, it's boring, but it has to be done. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.